Eu sou corintiano, ele é São Paulo. Ele é São Paulo, esse da cega aí. Tá bem para o filho, tá bem parado.
Now, you know, the hard thing about an electronic band is that there is no blueprint how you have to do it, and that's also kind of tricky for the sound, because in like a classic band with like bass, guitar, drums, every instrument has its place in the mix from like the whole sound architecture. And if you play with an electronic band, you have like all these like synthesizers and stuff, and they are like able to do like very low and very high sound, so in the end you don't really know where to put it in the whole mix thing. So it's already kind of tricky from the technical aspect, and then obviously you have to think a long time when you plan something like that, because you have so many options how you can play. You know, our aim was to have still like a kind of a small band, because we are like flying all the time and it's kind of annoying to have so much gear and so many people. And so now it's 4 people, it's 3 on stage, and we have the sound engineer, which is good compromise. And each of us has to play like various instruments during the set. So I play guitar, synthesizer, I sing sometimes, and then obviously for some electronic parts we also have some things coming from a tape, because I mean, you can't, if you want to play everything live you need like 7 people or whatever. I've always been into the idea of the whole band concept, because my albums are like mellow listening albums, and I always wanted to play listening music, but not in a club. I mean, I don't want to sit in a club with a laptop and like you know, it's also not satisfying for myself. So the only way to reproduce the album sound on a stage was having a band, and now I'm really happy with this situation. And the best thing is I can have both, you know, best of both worlds. I have still the electronic club set and I play it pretty often, and then it's rock and roll, and like electronic rock and roll. I would never listen to dance music at home, and I don't buy dance music anymore. Whenever I'm in a club, I understand dance music, and then if I'm in the right mood, it's cool. But it's just, you know, I'm a little bit tired of it, because I mean, I started DJing like 13 years ago, and I have to admit that not so much changed in techno music. I mean, still little things and stuff, but I mean, I'm always like, I like big steps, you know, and that's, for some reason at some point I got kind of tired. There are cool things. I mean, for example, I really like James Holden, because he has such a weird and musical approach when he does a techno track, and it's also very like twisted and interesting. I mean, when you listen to it, it's not only a tool. It's also, it has depth. You find some like little elements somewhere, and that's what I like. I'm a musician, you know. I don't really like very like plain tools to make you move. That's boring. I would would never move to any other place. It's fucking amazing. You have so many people around, so many musicians, so much interaction, and so many parties to go. And I just said that sometimes it feels like they play the same records in every club. You know, there's not so much variety going on. Berlin is completely electronic. You have a few indie clubs, and obviously you have like big concerts and stuff, and maybe like jazz places, but basically it's an electronic city. That's what I mean. Most of them play minimal music, yes, and that's sometimes a little boring. I mean, for me it's not such an issue, because when I go out in Berlin, I don't go out for the music. I go out to meet friends, to or whatever, get wasted. We were on tour. I was on tour with Allien. We played the Apparat Allien show, and that's more beats involved, more tech. It's still not so techno, but it was kind of compatible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know Feats for a long time, and we played an American tour with some of them, and it's all cool guys. And the funny thing is, before the whole hype started, I was already a little bit tired of all the how is Berlin, how is the minimal music question in interviews, and like 2 years ago I said, hey, take a look at Paris, there's something like going on, and I'm sure it's going to be very big. And what happened, huh? Who said that? So... I got kind of tired about label business and contracts and office work, and I'm a musician. My ex-partner played in like various punk bands, and there was a track called Shitkatapult. It was probably about like very plain throwing shit at people, whatever, and then, which is stupid. It just became the name of the label because it was funny. No, it really changed during the years. I mean, I worked with vocalists before. Like, I started getting interested in voices and instruments maybe like 5 years ago. And when I worked with the first vocalist, I told him, hey, I don't fucking care what you sing. It's just an instrument for me. And it really changed dramatically. Maybe because I started listening more and more to other people's lyrics, and I thought, oh my God, that's so stupid. You can't sing that. You don't really mean that. And obviously today, when I try to write lyrics, which is really, really hard, I try to write cool lyrics and to have like some kind of like abstract message at least going on. And so now it is kind of important, and that's why it's really hard for me to do it. I write like four songs a year, which like okay lyrics. Those tracks I put on MySpace, they weren't there to download. So I think it's cool to make it available for the people to listen, and maybe like to listen fucking 50 times until they get tired and they don't want to buy it anymore, but still they heard it and they invite me to Brazil or whatever. So it makes sense these days to have also some kind of like different way of promoting music, and maybe sometimes you do it for free and you don't get money for that, but you get some kind of different payback. You get like friends in the whole world, which is also a nice thing.